You've been running for so long that you've forgotten what stillness feels like. Every morning you wake up already chasing success, chasing love, chasing validation, chasing the next thing that promises peace but never delivers it. You run because the world taught you that motion equals meaning, that speed equals value, that if you ever stop, you'll fall behind. But the truth is, you're not behind. You're just lost in a race that was never meant for you. We've been conditioned to believe that the only way to achieve is to push harder. Hustle culture taught us that rest is weakness, that stillness is laziness, and that the ones who stop get left behind. But what if that's the biggest lie ever sold to you? What if all your chasing has only pushed the things you desire further away? Because the harder you chase, the louder you tell the universe, I don't have it. And the universe listens. You can't receive with clenched fists. You can't attract from a place of lack. Every time you chase, you send out energy that screams desperation. You tell life that you're not enough without what you're running after. And that frequency, that desperate energy, repels the very thing you want. Pause for a second. Think about all the things you've chased before, the opportunities that slipped away, the people who left when you tried too hard to make them stay, the goals that felt heavy the moment you forced them. Why? Because you were trying to hold on to something that wasn't aligned with your state of being. You were trying to force what was meant to flow. When you stop chasing, you don't give up, you wake up. You stop running after illusions and start aligning with truth. You begin to see that the real power is not in pursuit. It's in positioning. You don't have to chase light when you realize you are the source. Imagine the ocean trying to chase its own waves. Ridiculous, right? But that's exactly what you do when you chase things outside yourself. The waves of opportunity, love, peace, they rise naturally when your internal tide is calm. The ocean doesn't run after waves. It simply allows them to form. That's alignment. You must unlearn the addiction to motion. Stop measuring your worth by how much you do, and start measuring it by how aligned you are, because motion without direction is chaos. Effort without purpose is exhaustion. You are not here to constantly strive. You're here to create from power, not panic. So here's the truth you must face. The chase is a distraction from yourself. It keeps you busy so you don't have to face the silence. Because silence exposes the truth, that you've been running not towards something, but away from something, your own fear of stillness, of not being enough. But the moment you stop, the moment you dare to be still, everything changes. You begin to see that peace was never at the finish line. It was always waiting inside you, buried beneath layers of noise. And once you reconnect with that peace, you stop chasing because you realize you already have everything you thought you lacked. Here's what stopping the chase really means in practice. It means learning to pause before reacting. It means saying no to things that pull your energy away from your vision. It means sitting in discomfort instead of escaping it with endless busyness. It means trusting that what's meant for you won't need you to beg for it. The chase ends when trust begins. When you start trusting timing, trusting your preparation, trusting yourself. That's when alignment replaces anxiety. Because alignment is not about doing nothing. It's about doing the right things from the right state of mind. The world doesn't need more people who hustle blindly. It needs people who move with awareness. People who act from calm certainty, not chaotic fear. You become magnetic the moment you stop chasing and start embodying. When you walk like you already belong, doors open differently. People feel it. Energy shifts. Reality responds. Stopping the chase is not the end of ambition. It's the rebirth of true ambition. Real ambition doesn't say, I must get there. Real ambition says, I am already the person capable of being there. When you operate from that identity, your energy becomes irresistible. You attract opportunities because you're not begging for them. You're vibrating at their frequency. The boss doesn't chase. The leader doesn't chase. The creator doesn't chase. They simply decide, and their decisions pull reality into form. You are not meant to be a beggar to your own destiny. You are meant to be its architect. So stop running after what's already within your reach. Stand still long enough to let it come to you. In this stillness, you'll rediscover your real power. The power of alignment, the power of patience, the power of calm certainty that says, I know it's mine. I don't need to chase it. The irony of life is this. The moment you stop running after it, it starts running toward you. So today, stop the exhausting chase. Sit with yourself, breathe, let the noise fade. Remember that the universe doesn't respond to desperation, it responds to energy. Shift your energy and your reality will follow. You are not behind. You are not late. You are not forgotten. You are simply being invited to pause, realign, and receive what's already yours. Because the moment you stop chasing, reality finally finds you. Most people think they know what they want. But the truth? They only know what they've been told to want. They're chasing pictures painted by someone else, the lifestyle on the screen, the validation from strangers, the version of success handed down by society. And they wonder why, no matter how hard they work, peace never comes. Clarity isn't about making lists or setting goals. It's about cutting through the noise until only truth remains. Until you can look yourself in the mirror and say, "This is what I truly want, not what I've been told to want." Because here's the painful secret. Most people are working tirelessly toward dreams that don't belong to them. They're climbing mountains they don't even want to be on. And when they finally reach the top, they realize the view doesn't feed their soul. You can't manifest what you don't understand. You can't attract what you haven't clearly defined. When your vision is vague, your energy becomes scattered, and scattered energy creates scattered results. The first step toward real power is to define your desire with brutal honesty. Not with fantasy, not with ego, but with raw truth. Ask yourself, what do I truly want? Not to impress anyone, not to compete, not to prove, but to feel alive. What makes my heart expand, not my anxiety spike? It sounds simple, but it's not. Because clarity requires courage. It demands that you peel away every illusion, every should, every expectation placed on you. To get clear, you must confront your fears, because fear is what clouds clarity. You fear being wrong. You fear being judged. You fear that if you admit what you truly want, people won't understand you, so you pretend. You chase what's acceptable instead of what's authentic. But pretending is exhausting. It drains your spirit. And deep down, you already know what you truly want. You've always known. You've just been too distracted, too conditioned to listen. The voice of clarity doesn't shout. It whispers. It speaks in moments of quiet, when your phone is away, when the world stops demanding your attention. That's when you hear it. That's when you remember. So create space for stillness. Sit alone for 10 minutes a day and ask yourself one question. What do I truly want? Don't rush the answer. Let it surface on its own. Sometimes it will come in words. Sometimes it will come as a feeling. But it will come. Once it does, write it down. Describe it in vivid sensory detail. Don't just say, "I want success," that's empty. What does success look like to you? Is it waking up without anxiety? Is it being able to take care of your family? Is it having the freedom to create on your own terms? The more detailed you get, the more powerful your vibration becomes. Because clarity is a frequency. The universe doesn't respond to confusion. Think of it like tuning a radio. When you're fuzzy and unsure, your signal is full of static. The music can't come through. But when you lock into your true frequency, when your desire is clear, the signal becomes sharp and the universe can finally broadcast back to you. Once you define what you want, the next step is alignment. Clarity without alignment is just wishful thinking. Ask yourself, does my current lifestyle match the thing I say I want? If you say you want peace but surround yourself with chaos, that's misalignment. If you say you want freedom but fill your schedule with meaningless obligations, that's self-sabotage. If you say you want love but keep chasing what hurts you, that's a contradiction. Clarity demands consistency. You can't hold one vision in your mind and live the opposite in your actions. Every choice either moves you closer to your desire or further away. There's no neutral motion in energy. So take inventory. What habits, people, or environments are pulling you away from your vision? What beliefs are keeping you small? What fears whisper you can't have that every time you think bigger? Write them down, not to shame yourself but to expose the lies. Because when lies are exposed, they lose their power. True clarity isn't just knowing what you want. It's knowing what you're no longer available for. You stop entertaining distractions. You stop saying yes to every demand. You stop tolerating the noise that dilutes your focus. When your mind, heart, and actions finally align, your life starts moving like a current. Smooth, strong, directed. You no longer have to push against the flow. You become the flow. Remember this. The universe doesn't reward those who work the hardest. It rewards those who are the most aligned. A clear soul moves mountains that a tired body cannot. Don't underestimate the power of simple clarity. It doesn't need to be loud. It doesn't need validation. When you're clear, people can feel it in your energy, in your decisions, in your silence. You start making choices that match your truth, and that truth reshapes reality itself. Because clarity is creation. When you finally know what you want, life rearranges itself around that knowing. The right people appear. The right opportunities align. The noise fades and momentum takes over. That's the paradox. When you stop chasing everything and instead define one true vision, you stop scattering your energy and start channeling it like a laser. And a focused beam cuts through anything. So stop saying, "I don't know what I want." You do. You've always known. You just haven't trusted yourself enough to admit it. Now is the time to trust that voice. Now is the time to rewrite your map. Because once you get clear, every decision becomes simple. Not easy, but simple. You'll know what to walk away from, what to build, what to protect, and what to surrender. You'll no longer waste energy chasing illusions. You'll move with precision, with power, with peace. And that is what separates the drifters from the creators. Clarity. Clarity is confidence. Clarity is focus. Clarity is the point where your inner world meets your outer world, and the two finally match. So before you take another step, before you work another hour, before you chase another dream, stop. Look inward. Ask yourself with courage and honesty, what do I truly want? And when you finally answer, when you finally define it, you'll realize that the journey was never about chasing the goal. It was about becoming clear enough to receive it. You've been told your entire life that if you want more, you have to do more. Work harder. Wake up earlier. Push yourself past exhaustion. But no one told you that energy, not effort, is what shapes your reality. We've built a culture that glorifies burnout. We wear tiredness like a trophy. We brag about being busy, as if being overwhelmed means we're winning. But deep down, we know the truth: we're not winning. We're draining. We're running faster on the same treadmill, mistaking movement for progress. And the reason we never feel fulfilled is simple. Our output keeps increasing, but our inner state keeps collapsing. You can't build an extraordinary life on a broken foundation of stress, exhaustion, and inner chaos. Because the energy you hold inside becomes the world you see outside. You don't attract from what you do. You attract from what you are. And what you are, your vibration, your frequency, your state, and determines everything. Think about it. Have you ever noticed that when you're calm and confident, opportunities appear almost effortlessly? Conversations flow. People respond differently. You get lucky breaks without trying too hard. But when you're tense, anxious, and desperate, nothing works. Doors that were open suddenly close. People misunderstand you. Even simple tasks start going wrong. That's not coincidence. That's alignment, or the lack of it. Your energy is your magnet. If your state is low, your results will always mirror that. You can't outwork misalignment. You can't fake high energy while drowning in internal chaos. This is the shift. Stop trying to force your external world to change and start mastering your internal world. Stop obsessing over output and start elevating your state. Because when your inner state rises, everything you touch begins to move differently. People feel your presence before you even speak. Your words carry weight. Your actions, no matter how small, create ripples that reach further than before. The question is, how do you raise your state? How do you go from drained and reactive to powerful and magnetic? It starts with awareness. You can't change what you don't recognize. Every morning, check in with yourself. Not your to-do list and your energy list. Ask, what's the state of my mind right now? Calm or chaotic? Focused or scattered? Empowered or fearful? Don't judge it. Just observe it. Awareness itself begins to shift energy. Then build rituals that recharge your internal battery. Not the fake motivation that lasts 5 minutes. Real grounding practices that rebuild your frequency from within. Wake up earlier if you must, but not to work. To align. 5 minutes of still breathing. 10 minutes of silence before touching your phone. Visualize the day unfolding in harmony, not as a wish, but as an expectation. See yourself already calm, composed, effective. That's not fantasy. It's rehearsal. You're training your nervous system to live in the frequency of alignment before the day even begins. Because here's the truth. You don't get what you want. You get what your nervous system can hold. If you're constantly anxious, your mind will reject peace. If you're always chasing, your energy will repel ease. Your inner state must match the life you want to experience. Raising your state also means protecting your energy. You can't rise if you keep giving your attention to chaos. Unfollow what drains you. Step away from people who thrive on negativity. Guard your mornings like sacred ground, because the first hour shapes the next 23. Start replacing noise with nourishment. Music that uplifts, words that inspire, silence that restores. Every single choice you make either elevates or lowers your vibration. And the higher your vibration, the less you need to chase. Because now you attract. Life starts meeting you halfway. The right people appear. The timing becomes perfect. Synchronicities multiply because your frequency finally matches your desire. When you raise your inner state, you start to glow differently, not because of success, but because of peace. And that glow is unmistakable. People can feel it before they even understand it. They'll say, "Something about you has changed." And you'll know it's not something about you, and it's something within you. Understand this. The world mirrors your internal climate. If you're stormy inside, life will reflect storms. If you're calm inside, life begins to align effortlessly. You become a transmitter of stability, peace, and confidence. That's why you must prioritize your state over your schedule, because if you enter the day in a high state, even challenges become opportunities. But if you start low, even small problems feel impossible. It's not about doing less. It's about being more present, more intentional, more centered. And when you operate from that place, your output becomes 10 times more effective. Because aligned action produces more results than frantic motion ever will. You stop reacting and start responding. You stop overthinking and start creating. You stop rushing and start receiving. And here's the paradox, and when you finally stop trying to do everything, you start achieving more than ever. Because your energy is focused, your presence is powerful. You move through the world like someone who knows they belong, and reality rearranges itself around that certainty. This is how true creators operate. They don't rush. They radiate. They don't panic. They project calm command. They don't chase results. They align with them. You can feel it in their silence. You can see it in their eyes. They move like they already have what they're working toward, because internally they do. So raise your state. Breathe deeper. Move slower. Speak with intent. Be the calm in the chaos, and you'll notice how everything starts to move in your favor. The greatest power you will ever have is control over your inner frequency. That's what the world responds to. Not your words, not your effort, not your panic, your energy. And when that energy rises, nothing remains the same. So stop trying to fix everything outside of you. Sit down, breathe, and fix your state. Because when your inner state changes, your world does too. You don't need to chase alignment. You just need to return to it. Raise your state, and reality will rise to meet you. We live in a world obsessed with how will I get there? How will it happen? How will I make it work? It's the question that kills more dreams than failure ever could. Because when you're attached to how, you start to believe that your limited human plan is the only way life can unfold. You shrink the infinite possibilities of the universe down to a single narrow path. And when that path doesn't go your way, you panic, you doubt, you quit. But here's the truth most people never realize: the how was never your job. Your only job is alignment, to hold the vision, to take inspired action, to stay open, to stay ready, and let life surprise you. The universe doesn't move in straight lines. It doesn't follow logic. It follows energy. The opportunity you've been asking for might not come through the door you've been staring at. It might come through the side window, through a stranger, through a failure that redirects you into your destiny. But you'll never see it if you're too attached to how you think it should happen. Attachment is resistance in disguise. When you say, "It has to happen this way," you're not manifesting, and you're controlling. And control is the enemy of flow. You can't control the river and still expect it to carry you forward. You say you want peace, but you try to micromanage the universe. You say you trust timing, but you panic when things take longer. You say you believe, but deep down you're scared that if you don't force it, it won't happen. That's not faith. That's fear wearing a mask of effort. When you let go of the how, you're not being passive, you're being powerful. You're saying to the universe, "I trust you. I trust myself. I trust that the path I can't see is even better than the one I've imagined." That's when magic begins. Think about it. Every turning point in your life, Every person who changed your story, every moment that shifted your direction, none of it happened exactly the way you planned. It happened through the detours, the delays, the unexpected. Those weren't interruptions. They were redirections. The wrong turns were actually your greatest guidance. The universe hides its miracles in the chaos. The moments that make no sense while you're in them often end up being the exact pieces you needed later. But to see that, you have to release the need to understand the map before the journey begins. Letting go of attachment doesn't mean doing nothing. It means doing what's in front of you with full heart, and then surrendering the outcome. It means saying, I'll show up, I'll give my best, but I'll stop deciding how my blessing should arrive. When you release the how, you shift from control to trust. And that's where true power lives, because control drains you, trust restores you. Control is built on fear. Trust is built on faith, and faith is the language of creation. Here's the secret. When you let go of the how, you open space for the unexpected routes that lead to everything you've ever wanted. You stop pushing against life and start moving with it. The universe starts orchestrating connections, opportunities, and timing that no amount of force could ever create. You stop living from anxiety and start living from alignment. You stop asking, how will it happen? And start saying, I know it will happen. When you finally let go, you feel a strange calm take over. It's like exhaling after holding your breath for years. You begin to realize that the universe was never testing your patience, it was testing your faith. You start to see that not getting what you wanted was protection, not punishment. That delay wasn't denial, it was preparation. That closed door wasn't rejection. It was redirection towards something higher, cleaner, and more in tune with your purpose. The truth is, the how is never missing. It's just unfolding behind the scenes, waiting for your energy to match it. When you trust, when you release, when you finally surrender the need to control every outcome, that's when the how finds you. So stop trying to figure it all out. Stop forcing. Stop doubting. Stop letting fear tell you that if you don't know how, it means you'll never have it. You don't need to know the how. You just need to know yourself. You need to know that what's meant for you can't be stopped, delayed, or destroyed not by time, not by people, not by circumstances. The how will reveal itself when you're ready. Until then, hold the vision, stay in motion, and trust the unseen. Because the moment you stop clinging to the how, the universe finally has room to deliver the wow. Let go, breathe, and watch reality rearrange itself to meet your faith. In a world that worships speed, patience has become a forgotten power. Everyone wants instant results, immediate growth, overnight success. We scroll, we tap, we refresh, always looking for proof that we're moving fast enough. But transformation doesn't obey that kind of timeline. The truth is, real change takes time, not because the universe is cruel, but because it's precise. It knows exactly what must break, bend, and rebuild inside you before you can carry what you've been asking for. You don't get the life you want by rushing, you get it by becoming. Every delay, every detour, every moment that feels like nothing is happening is actually the universe preparing the version of you who can handle the next level. The waiting isn't wasted, it's sculpting you. We tend to forget that nature never rushes, yet everything gets done. The seasons don't compete. The sunrise doesn't panic. The ocean doesn't chase its waves. Everything in the universe moves with timing, divine, effortless, and exact. And you are no different. You might think you're late, behind, or missing something, but your timeline is sacred. The reason it's taking time is because what you're becoming is not small. You're being reshaped, rewired, refined, piece by piece. So when your breakthrough arrives, it stays. Fast success burns quick. True transformation builds roots. You can't plant a seed today and demand a tree tomorrow. You have to trust the soil, the seasons, the unseen work beneath the surface. Because growth happens in silence, in the dark moments when it looks like nothing's moving, when faith is your only light. That's when your soul is expanding the most. The problem is we mistake stillness for stagnation. We assume delay means denial. But timing isn't rejection, it's protection. The universe is not saying no, it's saying not yet. There's still more to learn, more strength to grow, more layers to shed. You see, the timing of your transformation is never random. The pain that came before it had purpose. The silence you're in now has a message, and the miracle that's coming next has perfect timing. You might not see it, but one day you'll look back and say, Now I understand why it had to happen that way. The heartbreak that broke you, it opened your heart to compassion. The failure that humbled you, it built your endurance. The delay that frustrated you, it refined your direction. The isolation that scared you, it taught you how to stand on your own. Every moment was a teacher preparing you for your next chapter. Trusting divine timing doesn't mean sitting back and doing nothing. It means doing what's yours to do, with faith, not fear. It means showing up fully in today, even if tomorrow is still a mystery, because the universe rewards consistency, not impatience. Every step you take in faith creates motion behind the scenes. Things are aligning that you can't see yet. People, opportunities, synchronicities. But none of it can find you if you're too busy doubting the process. The truth is, transformation isn't supposed to feel comfortable. Growth never does. It demands patience, surrender, and silence. It strips away everything fake until all that's left is truth. Your truth. So stop asking, when will it happen? Start asking, who am I becoming while I wait? Because the longer it takes, the deeper the roots. And when the roots are strong, no storm can shake the tree. Every moment you stay faithful in uncertainty is a declaration. I trust the timing of my transformation. You're not behind. You're being built. You're not forgotten. You're being refined. You're not stuck. You're in sacred preparation. When it's your time, nothing will stop it. No force, no fear, no failure. Because what's meant for you doesn't need to be chased. It needs to be grown into. So breathe. Trust the silence. Honor your pace because your transformation is not late, it's on time. And when the timing aligns, everything that once felt delayed will arrive all at once. And you'll realize why the wait was worth it. There comes a moment in every journey when the chase ends. Not because you've given up, but because you've woken up. You realize that the universe never asked you to run after your destiny. It asked you to become aligned with it. Alignment is not about forcing the world to match your will. It's about becoming so centered, so grounded, so true to yourself that life has no choice but to reflect that truth back to you. When you align, you don't have to beg for opportunities, they find you. You don't have to compete for love. It flows naturally toward you. You don't have to chase success, it becomes the natural echo of your authenticity. Because what you are inside, you attract outside. Everything in this universe vibrates. Energy, emotion, thought, intention. You are a frequency, constantly broadcasting what you believe, what you feel, what you expect. And life is simply the mirror, returning that signal in physical form. When you live in fear, you attract confusion. When you live in scarcity, you attract lack. When you live in peace, you attract clarity. When you live in purpose, you attract direction. So the real question is never, how do I get what I want? It's who must I become to match what I desire? That's alignment. Alignment means you stop acting like life owes you something, and you start realizing that life responds to you. You stop praying from panic and start vibrating from peace. You stop chasing what's missing and start embodying what's already yours. When you align, you don't need to manipulate outcomes. You magnetize them. Because alignment makes you powerful in silence. You become like gravity, unseen but undeniable. Think about it, when you're aligned, you walk differently. You speak differently. You stop needing validation because your energy itself speaks for you. You stop forcing connections because the right ones form effortlessly. You stop chasing timelines because you trust the rhythm of your own becoming. That's when life starts moving toward you. Not as luck, but as reflection. You see, most people don't fail because they can't reach success, they fail because they never learned how to receive it. Their energy is still chasing, doubting, resisting, but when you align, you create an open field, a space where blessings can land and stay. Alignment is the moment when everything you've been working for begins to recognize you got because you've finally become the version of yourself that matches what you've been asking. For you become still, not empty, but ready, and in that stillness, life starts moving. People appear out of nowhere. Opportunities line up. Synchronicities multiply. The right doors open, not because you forced them, but because your energy finally knocked on the right frequency. That's the beauty of alignment. It doesn't chase. It attracts. It doesn't scream. It whispers. And yet the whole universe listens. When you align, you realize that manifestation was never about controlling reality. It was about remembering your role in it. You are not separate from the universe. You are a living extension of it. The same energy that spins the planets beats in your chest. The same intelligence that grows forests flows through your breath. So when you align, you're not calling in your destiny, and you're tuning into it. And when that happens, everything that once felt impossible begins to move toward you naturally, without stress, without struggle, without noise. This is when life becomes effortless, not because it's easy, but because it's in flow. Alignment is when effort meets grace, when purpose meets peace, when action meets timing. And when you reach that space, you finally understand you never needed to chase what was already yours. It was waiting for you, patiently, for the day you'd slow down enough to meet it halfway. So stop chasing. Start aligning. Stop trying to force what's not ready. Start becoming what's meant to be found. Because when you align with your truth, your energy, your purpose, your higher self, life doesn't resist you anymore. It starts rising to meet you, and that's when everything changes. The love you were chasing finds your peace. The success you were forcing finds your flow. The opportunities you were praying for recognize your frequency. When you align, life starts coming to you, not as a miracle, but as a match. So breathe, trust, and remember, you are not behind. You are becoming. And the moment you align, everything you've been chasing will start finding you.